Welcome back to Once Upon a Time, the podcast that starts like every classic story, but what comes next isn't. I'm Scott Brown.
And I am David Ames. And each week we ask our guests to share 3 stories that shaped who they are and how they got there. And our guest this week is actor, comedian, presenter, and all-round good egg, Stephen
Oh,
Bailey.
that's
Woo!
nice. Thank
Hey!
you. I'll clap.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us. This is fun. I like it in here. It's like the Next Home catalogue.
I know. It's well kitted
Yeah.
out.
Exactly. Now, tell us a little bit about you, Stephen.
Well, I mean, do stop me if I go on. So I'm from a council estate in Manchester. I have a degree in French, but I always wanted to get into show business because do you remember Saturday nights in the 90s where you'd just have maybe a chippy tea and you'd watch like the Generation Game, Blind Date? Do you remember Man
You
Oh
Bet
Man?
and things
You
like that,
Bet, yeah.
Gladiators.
You Bet was good.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I just remember getting enamoured by the razzle dazzle of it all. And I was
Bit of
like,
showbiz,
yeah, a little
blankety
bit
blank.
of showbiz. And
Yeah,
I was like,
come on
I want
now.
a little bit of this one day. But I had no idea how to do it. And then what I did was I wrote when I was graduating uni, I was like, what am I going to do? I do not want to be a French teacher. The way I started in TV, I was like, right, how am I going to get into this?
Mm.
And so I remember like researching like Dermot O'Leary, Davina, and they all started as runners in
Yeah.
TV. And I didn't even know what that was. I genuinely thought at the time, because I'm not from this background, I have had no access to it. My mum's a dinner lady, my dad was a plumber. I was like, oh, I didn't know even about production companies. I
Yeah.
thought if there was a show on ITV made it.
Yeah.
Just ITV.
Yeah.
Mhm,
If
mhm.
Channel 4 had a show, it was Channel 4. I didn't know about all your different production companies. So I just wrote to the head of every channel with no clue and being
Ballsy.
like, this is what I grew up, I think I say it in the show, I grew
Yeah.
up on Hilary Duff and Lindsay Lohan films. And the messages of those films is like, if you want for it, go for it, and people will take a chance. And I thought, well, someone's just going to take a chance. Da, da, da. And so I wrote to the head of every channel at the time that I sort of had access to. So obviously we didn't have Sky, so it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And luckily for me, the head of Channel 5 wrote back. And if he hadn't, I don't think I would have ever carried on. I think I would
It's
have
the snowball effect of one decision
yeah.
and being ballsy in that way.
1,000%. And I remember writing to him. And with him, I was able to make it a bit personal because he'd done a talk at my uni.
Hmm.
I didn't go
Okay.
to it.
Yeah.
But I lied and said I did. And I was like, thanks so much, blah, blah. And I said, I have no idea how to access this industry. I've never even been to London in my life. And at that point, I was like 23. And so then he wrote back to me, luckily, and was like, this is really great. I'm going to get my assistant to get you down to London. And the assistant rang and was
Wow.
trying to make all this. And I was like, I can't just come to London. Do you know how dear trains are? And they paid. I got really
Gosh, you were being a diva even. I can't pay for that.
I'm
Are
not
you
paying
covering
for this.
But
this.
at the time, I didn't realize I suppose it was just very innocent and naive. I didn't realize I was sort of like advocating for myself. I was genuinely like, you come to London. And I was like, what planet do you think I've got money to come to London and a hotel and da da da? And they really sorted me out. And then they
Wow.
helped me get a job as a runner. And then that's when I was able to move. But even that, when they first offered me a job as a runner, they offered me a 6 weeks contract. And I had to say to them, are you off your rocker? I said, I can't move to London for 6 weeks.
London.
And so then afterwards they were like, okay, we'll give you a year. And I was like, I will. Okay, I can take a chance for a
Wow.
year. So I got this job and then I loved it and I was really good at it. And I think what I was good at, and people really took to me, like producers and things, because I was excited. Like I was working on T4, which I'd watched for years. I was on the right stuff that had guests on that I knew, like Jenny Pell, Russell Kane. So I was like, oh my God. We did Something for the Weekend, which was the old version of Sunday Brunch when it was on BBC. So we got to meet all these guests. I'm in the lift with like Pixie Lott and Girls Aloud and like literally. So I was like, oh, I'm in the telly. And I loved it. And so for about maybe first 2 years of moving here, I was just working really hard behind the scenes to move up and loved it. And it was one day I was asked to screen test for T4 because they were looking for a new presenter. Oh my gosh, it was so garbage. I can't even tell you. 'Cause I'd never performed in my life. I'd never stood in front of a camera. This was just a dream I had.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my, like, and then this screen test happened, and then so the camera, obviously with a presenter, you're supposed to look down the barrel. I kept looking at the producer, and they were sort of like, "You've got everything, but it's a mess." And we think, like, have you ever thought about doing stand-up? And my exact response to her was, you go and do fucking stand-up. I don't want to do
Yeah.
that. It seems horrific because I'm not a stand-up fan either. Like, but then I did think, actually,
Did you think you were funny? Like in your friend groups and things?
yeah, but not in that way. I never had that arrogant thing of being like, funny so I can be a stand-up.
Yeah,
But I did think, oh, I can tell a funny
I can
story
tell a story.
with my friend. My friends
Yeah,
laugh at me.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I was like, no, no, no. And so for about 6 months, I sat and percolated on this. I was like, oh. And I'd looked into like acting classes, but they're so expensive, even if you do sort of like the cheaper end, if you want to do anything sort of properly. So I was like, oh God. But I even recognized myself, if you want to do this, I crumbled in front of that camera. So I was like, you're going to have to do something.
Yeah.
So I signed up to like this little comedy writing course that I found because it was so cheap. And then at the end of it, you do a comedy showcase. And there's only about 30 people in the room, but it went so well that then I was like, okay, maybe this could be a thing. Maybe this could be a thing.
Yeah.
And then I died on my ass for a year. But it was so important, I think, to die. So with the stand-up, I just kept at it. And I was like, I tried to write like, I was like, right, every stand-up has a nectar card joke. I'm going to have a nectar card joke. And it was horrific. And then a comedian said to me one night, he said, you are so funny when we're sat here and you're telling your stories about when you met Pixie Lot or how your housemate is like sleeping with a rotation. Like my housemate who I used to live with, she used to have a Wednesday, a Thursday, Friday, a Saturday man, and they would just come and she'd have Sundays to herself and da-da. And that
Was she just on a lazy Susan? Did she just spin around for each person? I really wish her name was Susan.
no, it wasn't. I won't say her name, but she was very good humoured about me talking about it. Because I'd go into her room and I'd be like, it smells jizzy, but she never had a sense of smell. Before it was like trendy to not have a sense of smell.
Get a plug in.
I know. It really, I was like,
Jasmine Meadow,
I used to
this
buy
is
her like
not.
Febreze or whatever, or I'd like when I'd made my pan of lasagna before I put it in the bowl, I'd just walk around with the pan in her house. It was so funny.
Get some sage.
Yeah,
Just be
yeah.
cleansing
Cleanse.
it.
I did that to her.
Yeah.
She's still one of my really good friends, but I remember being like, okay, and they said, why don't you spend a few months just going up, telling stories as you are, record them, and then cut out the bits you don't need so you just get to the front. So I did that for ages. And then I was like, and they started getting really positive reviews, being like, everyone's favourite gay best friend or gossip or like guilty pleasure. And I was like, oh, I think that's what I am, is you believe I'm your mate. So it's sort of like I sort of am the funny mate from the pub that's gone on stage. And then that's how I sort of found my voice. If you will.
But as not a, if you weren't a fan of stand-up,
No.
then how are you? What kind of inspiration are you looking at when trying to develop your own voice and show?
So I started watching things. So I found things where you go, it turns out, so a lot of people, you go, who's your favourite comedian? A lot of comedians will sort of say Billy Connolly. Someone in that
Richard Pryor.
ilk. Richard Pryor.
Robin Williams.
That sort of
Eddie
really
Izzard.
brilliant list, but they've all got the same list.
That's not on my list. That's not my list.
Who's yours?
Mine would be Sean Locke. I think it's very funny.
Well, Sean Locke is on people's list.
It's the
He's
comedian's
excellent.
comedian.
Yeah, comedian's
Very
comedian.
funny.
Heralded as that by every comedian.
Totally, so beloved. But mine was, so there was sort of matriarchal women in soaps. Your Bette Lynch and Raquel's from Corrie, I thought was so funny. And they were proper characters.
Yeah.
That's sort of, I guess, why Peter Kay did really well.
Yeah.
Does really well, should I say. Because it's, he's just sort of saying what these characters say. And so I thought people like that were really funny. But then I love people like Lily Savage.
Yes.
Absolutely adored. But I didn't realise Lily was a stand-up because I knew Lily from like Blankety Blank or she had a chat show. So I just thought she was like really funny.
Yeah.
I didn't realise it was stand-up until I got into stand-up. And then like I used to watch on Chelsea Lately.
Yeah.
And I just thought, again, she was like this really funny, acerbic, witty, biting host. And I thought, that's sort of host I'd like to be like.
Well, let's
That
go into that
beautifully brings us
because
on to
you go.
beautifully brings us on to.
Almost like you've done it before.
It's almost like
We'll
exactly
segue into this, shall we?
segued into this nicely. So, one of your books that we asked you to come to us with and tell us how they helped shape you is Chelsea Handler, and it is.
Are you there, Vodka? It's me, Chelsea.
It's that.
So, what draws you to Chelsea Handler, and what draws you to that book, and how did that help shape you?
I think I found Chelsea at the perfect time because I didn't find it. I moved to London. The person I live with in London paid for the Sky package, which meant I finally had Sky for the first time in my life.
Not the sex girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah.
She wanted to keep you
Well,
busy
clearly
while
she
she
was
was.
earning.
While she,
No, she wasn't. She wasn't. So
She
we
had
had
sugar daddies
a-
all over town.
We had and I watched Chelsea lately every night. I loved it. And so then I was sort of watching her as a view of being like, oh, I think that's how I'd like my presenting style to be. And what I liked about it is I think telly, I mean, you guys can talk on this. I think it's got so beige. I can't even tell you. Like, no one's exciting. No one's interesting. Everyone's saying the exact same thing. I suppose it was my deep dive into Chelsea and sort of the thing that thrust me further into stand up because I always do the work. That is what I'm a SWAT.
Yeah.
Did you say SWAT in down south? Like for a gig
Yeah.
and whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
And so
I
I'm
love how we needed to translate
well,
that.
the way this industry
Well,
is.
we can put subtitles
Yeah.
on this afterwards for anyone.
I
Just so you
can't
know.
wait
Yeah.
to see if that actually happens.
we do for
Could de-northern you.
we do for Jamie. We do for Jamie anyway. It's fine.
Oh, yeah.
of course.
And so I was like, right, I love Chelsea. Then I'd had this weird sort of audition for T4 thing. And then it was like, go and be a stand-up. And then I started stand-up. And then I thought, right, well, I want to do what Chelsea's after, and that's sort of a panel show. And if I ever get on a panel show, and then it was like, oh, she's a comedian. Oh, she's got books out. And this is the other thing about beige. When you read an autobiography, a lot of
Beige.
time they're beige. It's like you've missed out the good stuff. I was finding it really hard. I didn't get home till 3 a.m. from this train station. Now I'm a multimillionaire famous comedian. There's something missing. Something happened. And with Chelsea, it really told the story of the failures. So about the time, like she did Just for Laughs Montreal, which is like a huge thing, especially for an American comedian. I know
It's a huge.
but
That's like that's
it
a make or
breaks
break.
American comedians. And she had 100 execs in the room, and she died, in her own words. Like she died, and then you go, but you're one of the most known comedians in the world, like now. Like, so how did that happen? And what I took from the book was one, she never dampened herself down. She was always herself, even when it got her in trouble. And two, the fact is, and you go, we forget it, especially I suppose if you're any sort of freelancer, your job is different day to day. Like not even just in performers, you're always hustling for a job. But what she said in that book, and I was like, oh yeah, she went, I only needed one yes, and she got it. And that's how she got her chat show. They were like, we think there's something in this.
Yeah.
Let's give it a go. And actually, the first version of Chelsea Lately was called The Chelsea Handler Show. And it didn't work very well. But what it did do was open her up to Hollywood.
Yeah.
So she was going to events and stuff and meeting Jennifer Aniston, Reese Witherspoon, people like that, which meant when they were like, this isn't working, the sketch thing isn't working. We just want you to talk to celebrities and maybe have a panel of comedians. Let's simplify it. Chelsea Lately was born. That was much... Because I never saw the Chelsea Handler Show, but apparently it was much better according to the book. And she was able to get better quality guests because she just sort of schmoozed them.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing for me was to go back to what we were saying earlier is she wasn't from a sort of one of these Hollywood famous backgrounds. Her dad was a car dealer in New Jersey. I don't think her mum worked, if I remember that right. So it's like she just did it. I also do think that is a good thing about stand-up, actually, to be honest, as well, is you can just do it.
I think there's the interesting thing in this that you didn't mention earlier or now, but it's interesting as to how it has an impact. Is the start of that is fuck the nose.
Yeah.
So you just need the one yes.
Yeah.
But there were obviously Channel 5 came back to you in that one.
Yeah.
There were 4 no's or no answers.
No answers, yeah.
So, but let's put them out of our head because we're focusing on this and not that. And there are a lot of no's, you know that. But how do you just move on from those no's without it really disrupting you? And how do you go
Mm.
through those on your ass performances before you become a very good comic? And are you just saying all this is going to make me better?
No.
Is it
I
like it's all material? Can you kind
no.
of, you know,
I think with
or does it just make you hungry?
stand up, dying actually really helped me be good because I hated it so much when I had a death that I was like, I got like now I can play any room
Yeah.
and I don't die, touch wood.
Mm.
But I have also been going 15 years now, and so I just wrote it and I was like, I never want to feel this again. But now I can do all the different spaces, even spaces. I remember opening for Mickey Flanagan 2 years ago at Birmingham Arena, and that was like
That's
15,000 people.
huge.
That was my biggest today. I think before that, the biggest might have been 4,000. So it is a massive,
Yeah.
and it's a different skill again, and one I'd not had
Yeah.
because I was like, so I was I was just me. I did what I always do. I didn't change my material. Um, when I'm doing something like that, I always acknowledge that just so you know, I know you're not here for me. I totally get that. So then that puts them at ease where they're
Yeah.
not like, where is
Yeah.
Mickey? And I think why it worked was because I was so confident in the stand up. But the other thing is, which I sort of touch on in this show as well, is because I am camp and northern, I think everything seems a bit more like, oh, he's very rude, he's very crass. Name a comedian that isn't.
Mm.
There's probably I bet you couldn't name 5 that is never ever rude. Mickey is very rude.
Yeah.
I swear he has a rim job bit as well. I'm not even joking. Now the no's when you don't get a job I find very difficult. Stand-up's interesting because that feels a lot more where sort of your nepotism and everything comes in. Because I mean I've genuinely been asked before when I've gone up for a job.
Yeah.
Who are your friends in this industry? Who are your friends in this industry? It's
Yeah.
like, what's that got to do for how I can do the
It doesn't
job?
matter.
And
Did you say it the other day? Was that was a true story in your show when you said someone asked you who you were here with when
Yeah.
you were performing?
Yeah. So I did Live at the Apollo for the first time. Dream come true. So grateful to BBC. I've said this to a BBC commissioner, like, oh my God, it was like, that's what you want to do when you get into this.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. However, when I was backstage there, a comedian, much more famous than moi, but who knows me,
Using your French there.
came.
See
Thank
what
you.
you did.
Did you
Well,
I know,
see?
it's that clock.
There's
That's
That,
why.
that degree.
Degree.
All right.
That was worth the money just for that. And she came up to me backstage. She went, Stephen, how are you? And I said, oh, I'm really good. Yeah, thank you. How are you? She said, yeah, good. She went, who are you here to watch tonight? And the bit that bummed me is she wasn't trying to be awful or mean
Yeah,
or
yeah,
anything
yeah.
like that, even though I was in hair and makeup.
Just making the most of
Yeah.
a brightly lit mirror.
But what was mad was this comedian that she knows, that she recognizes, that she is greeting. It didn't even occur to her that I might be on the lineup.
Yeah.
If I saw a comedian backstage at Live at the Apollo, I would assume they're on. That would be my go-to.
Yeah.
And to her, it didn't even occur to her that I might be on. And it's like, that's the problem. I mean, I had it last year. I was doing a summer festival, and when I got there, they were like, would you mind going on last? Because these 3 want to travel home together. And the 3 comedians and I was like, oh, yeah, but the 3 comedians that have been on had done either Taskmaster, Last One Laughing, maybe both.
Yeah.
Much higher profile than I have. And so I just said, oh, I don't think I should be closing this show. I can, as competently as a comedian, but I said, I don't think I should be the one closing it. I said, I'm the only one that's not been on Taskmaster here. And one of them said to me, no, you're being too hard on yourself here. You've done really well considering where you're from.
Really?
That was it. But
These are
again,
all just little pokes
but they're
that
trying
after
to
a
be
while.
nice. Like I didn't feel like they were digging me. I didn't think they were having a go. But it's that thing I have an issue with.
So, benchmark moments, Live at the Apollo being one of them. You said you were hugely, hugely grateful for that opportunity.
So grateful.
Which leads us, another little lovely segue, into The Secret, one of your other choices.
I'll tell you what I like about this book. I think I naturally lean a bit more pessimistic, a bit more glass half empty. I think that's how I naturally lean. I think it comes from growing up on the estate where it's that know your place, speak when you're spoken to, fingers on lips, all that sort of thing. So I think that's why I'm not naturally like, the world's my oyster. I love to think like
Mm.
that, and there's days when I really think like that. Have you read The Secret? I've read.
I have not.
No.
I will confess.
What's your vibe on manifesting?
I'll take it after I've heard your story on it.
Okay.
I'll tell you my position after.
Okay.
I thought it said you had an Ouija board, but it says a vision one.
A vision board. No,
Yeah.
I've never. Don't mess with the dark arts.
Will I get this job?
I thought
The spirits say no. Even the spirits mugged me off.
because I thought we were gonna.
Girl.
Considering where you're from, no.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
This is a northern Ouija board.
Even the spirits are being yes.
Bitch, please. And so what I like about it is, so I'm not this. I don't know about how I feel about manifestation, the hippy dippiness of it. But what I like about the book is I took certain things from it. Like there was really, like, so for example, one of the examples I read in the book was if you wake up in the morning and you stub your toe, and you're bloody hell, oh God, this day started awfully, and you're in that mindset, you find the rest of the day being awful.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I do that. And it's sort of like if a train's delayed by 10 minutes, it's then that's because you stub your toe and you're having a shit day, so everything's shit.
Yeah.
Whereas really so the flip side of looking at that is could be, my train's delayed 10 minutes. That's another 10 minutes I've got with my book, where I don't have to be bothered by anyone.
Or you can get a pastry, or you can go get a
pastry,
coffee, and
Oh, fabulous. 10 minutes sat down, not having to talk to anyone. Like,
Yeah.
so many things. And so I was like, oh, I like that side
Flipping
of
your
it.
mindset, and actually,
Yeah.
rather than greeting the day with negativity,
Yeah.
you put out a little bit of that positivity, and it comes back.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and just even things like, because I have done that before where you woke up and like, you might have like spilt your cup of tea. Or, oh God, oh my God, this is going to be a nightmare. Where it's actually, you've just spilt your cup of tea, wipe it up and get over yourself, sort of thing. And then there was like the concept of the vision board. So I think sometimes with manifesting in The Secret and stuff like that, I think it can be a bit too
A bit woo woo. It can
bit,
be a
yeah,
bit like
woo-woo.
yeah.
It's a bit of a wealthy white person with a podcast who tells people go and quit your job if
It
you
also
don't.
thing.
But I like the bits that you can take from it that you want. So like a vision board, I don't believe, like there was one man on it who said he'd got a $5 bill and he put 6 zeros at the end, so it's $5 million. $5 million, and then within a year he had $5 million. I don't believe it. But what I do like about a vision board is, so I start making one now, but I'm not doing ridiculous things. Like maybe I should, but I'm not putting 6 zeros at the end of a £5 note. But what I have started doing is like, so I always do it New Year's Eve. So the New Year's Day, that vision board is there to start with.
What is it? Is it physically a board?
So it's
Or
just,
you've got a
for me,
big
I
piece
just
of
have
paper.
like a sort of an A4 cork board where you just pin in
Okay.
pictures of things. And then I just put on things that I once, like a couple of years ago, put on a house, but it was at a time where you go, I can afford a house. I'm not like the money's not. I'm not imagining this money. But I put on a picture of sort of my dream house, and then it would go through, and there'd be no complications. That's what I was looking at. And to be fair, that happened. And there was things like, you know, I had on blankety blank.
Yeah.
But also at a point where you go, I could feasibly get on blankety blank. But now we need to sort of make sure hustle it. So for me, it is
It's a
sort of
to-do list.
focus board. It's a
Yeah.
to-do list. It's a pretty to-do
Of
list.
achievable things, not craziness.
Because I think the crazy ones, you could end up at the end of the year really disappointed. And I don't want to feel like that. But there was last year, I ticked off everything on it. And some of it was just like holidays. Because it's like, I don't prioritize holidays. And last year I did. I traveled more than I ever have. And so I think it's just this focus thing. And that's what I like about The Secret, and because I think there are people that believe the full woo-woo herbal side of it, and that's totally fine if that makes you happy. But then I think there's people that are a bit like me where it's like, actually, just take the bits you want from it and have a bit of focus. You know, these people that are like, I never get through a to-do list, I never get through a to-do list. And it's like, maybe something like this would help you, because
simplifying, and it's
simplified,
sort of
smaller. I've had it both ways. So you've had friends that are sort of negative, and you're like, oh my God, I can't bear to be around them. I've been negative, and you can tell your friends have had that feeling about you. Everyone is happier when it's positive. Now, you can't ignore life. This world is ran by money. You need money. You've got to pay your bills. All that stuff has to happen, or you will be depressed.
Yeah.
But I think if you focus on the positive, like if spilling a cup of tea ruins your day, we all need to get a bit of a grip.
Yes.
And if you've stubbed your toe, okay, that is annoying. Or if something breaks, life is going up to always life. So for me, it's just that thing of like,
Life be life in.
yeah.
So when did you find this book, and how big an
I
impact do you
found
think
it when I moved to London, and actually, I think I found it at the right time. I think, to be honest, I was like genuinely depressed because I was really struggling for money because I was a runner.
Mhm.
You're not
Yeah.
paid well as a runner.
No.
London's dear,
Fuck yeah.
a lot dearer than Manchester, which is where I was used to. And I was like, how? Oh my God. I just always felt like I was on my ass. And I found this book and I just started implementing little things. It's one of those books where I've done this a few times, various different, where you've got your highlighter on. It's almost like a homework, even though
Yeah.
there's no real homework in it.
Mm.
And I just did it. And it was certain points being like, right, we need to start taking back. I need to get a promotion at work and I need to find an agent. And they were my two focuses. And both those things happened by the end of the year. And all of a sudden you go, yeah. And it's even things like, even when it does come to a bereavement now, I really look at those differently and being like we lost my auntie last year, but she was my auntie in the sense of she was my mum's best mate from childhood, right?
Oh yeah, there's always
But I
a
was
few of
like,
those.
how lucky am I that I had an extra auntie that I considered like my sort of biological aunties that was there my whole life that my mum chose.
Mm.
Like, how lucky. So I was like, we're so lucky to have
Mm.
had her. And so just certain things like that, I sort of reframe it. So, but I mean, that's hard as well. And I don't do it all the time. Like I say, if I get a phone call after this off my agent Bex, be like, that's not gone your way, I will have a moment.
We've spoken in the round about lots of this outsider and other kind of feelings and
Feeling, yeah.
emotions that you've had.
Yeah.
So can we go on to your third book,
Oh, yes, please.
which
I
is
love this book.
different to the other two, very
Yeah.
different, which is Where the Crawdads Sing.
Yeah. It was one of those books which I find very rarely where I feel like it changes you as a person.
Yeah.
Where it really sort of hits you in the soul. I actually shed a tear. I don't cry through books regularly. I think I've done two, which is the Crawdads, Where the Crawdads Sing, and the Nightingale. Like, they have like punched me in the soul. And I think what I like about the book and why I found it was it was only a couple of years ago. It was definitely post-pandemic, 23, 24. And I think we've got to such a better place now about how we should accept all different types of people. And we shouldn't be judging a person for how they look or da. Well, this book does the opposite. It's this girl who's been essentially raised in trauma, and the villagers of the town refer to her as Swamp Girl. It's set in a time, it's not set in the present time.
Yeah.
And but they judge her rather than help her.
Mm-hmm.
And this is someone that's like sort of she doesn't
There's
have
two
shoes.
timelines in it, isn't
Yeah.
there? Yeah.
And I just, for me, it's just one of those stories where I need to read it again soon. But I just thought, like, she was underestimated for how intelligent she was and how resourceful she was. Like, this was a girl that grew up in the swamp.
Mm-hmm.
Her family left her.
Mm.
She was a child.
Was the father an alcoholic or was abusive, and the mother left?
Mother left.
And brother.
Brother left. And so you go, no one's stepping in to help her. Like, and you go, she's a child. Like, let's help her. And they make fun of her. And then it's like, well, what happens when you get to know her? It's like, we love her a
She
bit.
couldn't read or write.
Yeah. But then she learns to.
Exactly.
And I just thought of, I loved it because it was like this I guess it's what we're talking about class, is going, because you're from somewhere, the swamp, that doesn't look like where the rest of us live.
Yeah, exactly.
Just stay over there. Don't get too close. Like, this is our space. And
people like boxing, putting you into a little and pigeonholing you all.
And she had people that looked after her, like the guy at the shop would give her food when she clearly couldn't afford it. And so it's like, and again, it buys into what we were saying earlier. You only need one yes. You need that one person to support you. You need that handful of people. And I just thought it was so beautiful. And it was one of the only books I think I've ever read where it's sort of, I didn't need a film because it was so well written and it was so beautifully described that I was like, I've done the film in my head.
Yeah.
I know exactly what she looks like. And I think that was my issue with the film, is going, it doesn't look like my film.
Yeah.
Do you know, it doesn't look like the film in my head. And And I just think it was one of those really rare books where you're like, wow, like I couldn't, you're right. 2
Yeah.
days I got through it. I was like, couldn't wait
Yeah.
to.
And why did someone recommend it? Did you just stumble across it?
Yeah. So a friend of mine who grew up on the same estate as me is now an English teacher and a head of English. I always say to her now, I always go, what should I read next? Because she's just got
Are you
me
similar
down.
in like what you
I
enjoy
think so.
as
We're
well?
similar in ourselves. We like
Yeah.
vision boards and the secrets, and we've been best friends for like 25 years, and but I don't have the ability to pick my own book anymore because I do feel like when I do, I'm like, oh, this isn't very good. So I
Yeah.
just text her and go, right, I'm done. And at the minute, actually, what's on my vision board is actually 12 books because I think we've all become slaves to the idiot box, our
Oh,
phones.
yeah.
We give too much of a shit about likes, comments, sharing, trying to become viral. And actually, that's not.
Comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah, and that's not just performers either. It's just every lunatic with a phone now seems to want to be famous. And I think it's actually made us all very less interesting. And I realized like there's a few words where I sort of was like, I forgot what that means, or I can't find the word as quick. And I was like, that's because I'm doom scrolling
Yeah.
rather than being present, living life, reading books. And so I made myself promise, I don't even think this is a big challenge, but I'm like, I'm going to read one book a month in the month. So it's not like you get to November and go,
Yeah.
quick, I've got to do 12, otherwise I fail myself.
Yeah.
It is, I'm reading a book in January, a book February, March, April, and I'm more, but I was like, you
Are you
have
up
to
to
read
speed?
a book. I'm up to speed, yeah.
Okay, great.
And I'm going to order the second book Jodie's told me to order today to start on Friday.
For me, reading is like when you go to bed, I generally read when I go to bed.
Yeah.
And I'll go to bed a bit early, finish up watching a TV series earlier than normal, go to bed, have a read rather than be on your phone with the bright lights, the stimulation of all of that.
Yeah.
It's the book and everything else. It just makes you sleep better
Yeah.
as well.
It's why we all don't have focus as well, I think, is because we aren't,
The
when you're watching a
ADHD
30-second clip,
crisis,
it's not, but like, and I don't know how you are, I'm not a Kindle girl. I want a book.
Yeah, I like a physical
Get
copy
me
of
off
something.
that
Yeah.
screen. I want a book. I want to dog ear the pages.
I think we are nearly at time, but
We
we do
are.
need to talk about what's happening next for you, what's coming up.
I'm in the new Russell T Davies show, Tiptoe.
Yes,
Yeah.
I am so
I
excited about this.
know. I just thought it was so. That is when you go, actually, all the no's are worth it. Because if I could go and tell little shy 12-year-old me in his braces, you're going to meet Alan Cumming from the Spice Girls movie. You're going to be friends.
And work with him.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Did you love it? Was it great fun doing?
Loved it. And
Yeah.
I think it's going to be absolutely incredible. I just loved it. But I sort of feel like every time there's sort of these mad pinch me moments where you're actually doing it, and they're the ones I always try and think about when I'm not doing it. Like, just think how you enjoy it when you get something.
And is Tart tour carrying on?
No, we've wrapped on tap, but I'll be announcing a new tour for next year soon.
Oh,
Fabulous.
It'll be announced before it's written, I'll tell you that.
Fabulous.
Well, that's excellent.
Well, thank you
Thanks,
so
girlies.
much, darling, for
Thank
coming and
you
doing
for
this with
having
us.
It's been great fun.
All the best.
See you soon.
See you soon. If you've been inspired by Stephen's books, they're now available on our website at uponatimepod.com.
And thank you so much for listening. And don't forget to subscribe to our podcast wherever you listen to them.